This is just Amazon on Tuesday, August 6th, 2019. Taking a look at the daily. We hit that X marks the spot. We had a really nice bullish gap and go, clearing above the high from yesterday, and didn't really act like a normal bullish gap and go. It made a very large pullback and then rallied into the afternoon. And it makes sense. Like after having 4 bearish days, a big gap here, that we would be doing some retesting of this gap. We just got a lot of that retest overnight and then sold back off again in the morning and then recovered in the afternoon. Still making a bearish candle today. But this is a really nice hammer, and it's a really good location too. If we go back a little bit, let's see, do I need to zoom out? Yeah, I gotta zoom out. Sorry. Zoomed in too far. Okay, we had the bounce in here. I was looking at the candles here thinking, well, is that similar? What was going on here? And the candles don't really look similar enough. I mean, that's a little hammer, but we had a really big candle here. Today and yesterday were really about the same range, right around 40 bucks on the range. And so I'm like, all right, let me look back a little further left and see what I can find that looks similar to these candles. So let me zoom out again. And I came back over here. And let's see. Yeah. All right. If I zoom in on this a little bit more just to get a little closer, I'm going to sketch this because I want to make sure that I'm clear. So I'm going to draw from this area and from this area. So we had a move higher, slight dip, rally up to all-time high. Slight dip, rally, almost all-time high. So that looks similar. And granted, the time is different, but what we actually did, the prices that we got into, we came right up into the same price here and here, off the same lows down here and down here. From here, we did this double top sort of thing, and then we came back down, and we came back down. Oops. So let's try that one again. Hit something with the mouse. There you go. Came back down. Okay. Now for the even more interesting part. Let me clear all that, and I'm just going to zoom in. Well, no, I'll do it from right here. Okay. We had a really large bearish candle here, and I was looking at these, recently, thinking we haven't really had a big, single day move. We've done a lot of this after hours. We've had some of these moves, but in a very similar price, we had a high wave candle, a little bit lower here than where we are, where we were yesterday here. Let me draw again. I want to be really clear on this. Okay, this high wave candle and this high wave candle were a little bit higher here than here. That's fine, not an issue with that. What's interesting is we had a really nice bullish gap and go the very next day from that high wave candle. And what happened to it? All it did was kind of retest some of the selling and then rolled down even lower. That was another bad draw. There we go. No, I am having trouble drawing straight tonight. There we go. Closer. Not quite. One more time. There we go. Way down to there. Way down to the bottom of this. Well, we're at the bottom of a downtrend channel, but we just had a bullish gap and go. Turned out to be a hammer, similar looking to this one, similar location. I mean, price was crazy similar. Let me go back and let's actually look at the price in this candle. Okay, the range was much more, 66 bucks. The close, 1788.61. Today's close, 1787.83. I don't think I can hold that on the screen. Okay, look right here, 1787.83, and then look right to the right of my cursor where it says C:1788.61. We're $1 off of the close on this hammer going back to October 12th and today's close from this hammer to today. Sorry. Yeah. So I know it's not the 12th or anything, but I just thought it was really interesting seeing the the location that we closed today with a hammer from a bullish gap and go from a high wave candle, it's too similar, you know. And so just seeing how things have moved, there's a different time, you know, going from here in late June to where we're at this price on this hammer on October 12th, you know, 4 months or 3.5 months in there. And then to do it here from early June to early August, you know, 2 months. Like we've done it in half the time, a little more than half the time. And we're at the same price as right here. And so what I think is going to happen, or at least what could happen, is from all this selling off, people are looking to buy. It's pulled back a good ways. We're in a really bullish trend. That's all great. People are looking to buy, and we could push up a little bit more. We could have a very similar candle tomorrow to this one. Let me zoom in on this and there. What if this is today and tomorrow, you know, August 7th, we could get this kind of a candle. It pulls back a little more, starts to sell off. Okay, this will be bears hopping on again. And we had a big bearish move here and more bearishness, and then all of a sudden we got a little bit of a pop. And this could be, you know, this could be Wednesday, this could be Thursday, this week in August, you know. And then we get something small up in this range, and then we get some more selling off when we actually start to roll down again. And this was earnings in here, and that always throws things off, but we're past earnings now. So if I go back over here now and look at this same thing like this, and I'm just going to leave that open. I'll sketch again. What if we get something like this and a little more selling here? And then what if we get, you know, a bigger move up? Because, you know, we're trapping all these bears. Now we've retested into this level here, you know, and then we get another candle up in here. And by that time, maybe the 21 is going to come down, and we'll tag that. And then we don't have earnings ahead. Like I said, we just have it behind us now. What if from there we do some more bigger selling and something happens? I don't know. I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know, and I don't want to predict it many days out. I'm just saying the possibility is there because of what's shaping up from what we've done before. All I'm saying is there's similarities to what we did before in 3.5 months and what we're doing now in about 2 months. That just be cautiously bullish, be cautiously bearish, look at the 5-minute that we like to do in here and see how things are trading. And if we dig into the 5 now, we'll see we had that really nice bullish gap and go. We cleared yesterday's high, which was phenomenal, and immediately sold off. That tells you there's still a lot of bears here. And even though it was opening higher, I don't know if this was any bulls getting in here that thought they were going to be sunk and losing a ton of money because it dropped, even though it was rallying to the close, just to see it open today up, and maybe they were getting out. I don't know if the bulls were that smart to do that, or if this is just more bears loading up because they had another opportunity from the same price to push it lower. What's also crazy is this channel that I talked about yesterday. This channel going back to February was what we followed yesterday in this price, and again today. We came right down into this, we retested back up into it, and we rolled down to the channel itself. And then we kind of did this this consolidation down here and then broke out. And this was an incredible move today too. So didn't quite get down to 1747, but let's talk through today what happened. So opened up, you know, trapping any of the bullish pre-market buyers here. Put in a high wave candle, just went sideways, but put in some really nice highs right through here with some upper wicks, which tells you there's buyers getting in here, and then there's sellers coming in saying, nope, not yet. And they ended up pushing this down with a really nice hammer. This is really close to a tweezer top. This was 1783.61, 1783.64. So 3 cents away from a tweezer top. That breaks down, has an incredible, you know, 5 candle bullish move back up into that candle's range, and puts in another inverted hammer just like this one, and that sells off even further. I want to look at these these prices on puts in a few minutes here. We get that sell-off right down into this channel. And I mean, this was an incredible move right here. And just from what we talked about yesterday, you could have been getting in below this candle, getting into the channel here, or even waiting till here. We're in the channel, we break down on this candle, or we retest on this. At any point, you could have taken this breakdown bearish with puts and known where to get out because of this channel here. And I double clicked on this. I showed this. I think you could probably just take this price and take this date, and take this price and take this date and time probably, and put it on your chart. And I'm guessing it would still show up through here. You'd probably have to extend to the right. Yeah, right extension's on. That's why I'm seeing it. I don't know if it would work the same for anybody else adding it. But anyway, we came down here, and then that was the low of the day. We stayed above yesterday's low, right? Yeah, so yesterday's low was a little bit lower, still didn't touch 1747. That's where I think we'll probably pull back some more. I think we're going to pull back into 1747 at least. And I kind of like the shape of this. This looks like an inverted head and shoulders here, but I don't know that we're done going down quite yet. And 1747, I mean, we went through it. We came almost down to 1714.50 after hours yesterday, but didn't really touch it during the open session day. Anyway, back in here to the 5. So what I'm seeing here is we had a really nice bounce. We retested back up into like this inverted hammer, came right back into the low. We kept taking out lows. So this low got taken out by this candle. Then we took that low out with this candle, consolidated there, and broke down some more. And then this was a retest of this low. And I guess this candle was a retest almost to this low. But we came and touched the 21 and went sideways and touched the 21 again and started to roll over. And a lot of bears were getting in here into a high wave candle, which actually touched a little bit lower or pushed a little bit lower, didn't quite touch the channel. And then you had a really nice Morningstar reversal right here, holding this low, and a really nice triangle consolidation here that started to break out, got above the 21. And not only did it just get above the 21, it rested for 2 candles here. It rested for 10 minutes right here. And this was a great opportunity to get in bullish on the next candle, or getting in bullish right here because it's actually making a higher high from these candles, both of these. Now, not quite this one, but that's a nice target, especially if you can put your stop really tight here, or if you're getting in here and you got your stop down here, as soon as it breaks out, you can put your stop right here and lose way less than an R just for it to move up, and you have a great location for your stop. That was a really nice rally. Again, back up into the price here, into the channel. Comes right into pretty much the second candle's low. Puts in a really nice stair step, kind of a little bit of a pennant here. A little bit longer for a flag. I think the flags being like 2, 3, maybe 4 candles. So this one being 6, a little bit longer than the flag, what I would call a flag. What's really cool here is we have the high wave candle, and let's see, the low 1772.71, and we actually took out the low. Yeah, barely took out the low on this candle and this candle, but that's where buying was coming in. And then we just continue to rally, almost making a new high in the day. But this is your target. The open is going to be your target, or the high of the day is going to be your target, and you're going to aggressively move your stop up, back up into the target. And then from there, really just kind of went sideways, pulled back a little bit, and you had a really nice signal with an evening star reversal here to just get out. If you were looking for a little bit more of a target, you have a really nice evening star, and you're starting to kind of have some indecision, and it's like, okay, get your stop real tight right here. I mean, you could have tightened your stop right here and gotten stopped down in this candle, or trailed down in this candle, or after this candle, you could have had your stop right here, and then this candle forms. It's like, okay, it's got to move higher, and if it doesn't, I'm stopped out and trailed out, and then you would have been trailed out right here. Either one of those works, but that, after this kind of a move, this was what, 40, almost 40 bucks. This was like the range. Their day was 40 or so, right? So this was like 30 something. I don't know. I'm sure I can measure this somehow quickly, but let's just say you got in here at 1765 and you held on to 1790. So that's 25 bucks. That's a $25 move. For a bullish gap and go, you're looking for it to be bullish, and you know it's going to retest. You know bears are going to come in. You just wait and wait for some more bulls to come in. And so you got a lot of bears coming in, some bigger bearish candles. This was like, bullishness here, and then it starts to slow down a little bit, and the bears aren't pushing this down as much. And 3 candles in a row, these 3 candles in a row, and then all of this was on lower volume, like slightly increasing volume. But then you get to some of these bigger moves back up, taking out the bearish candles. That's what's so great about this candle, is it took out these bearish candles, these highs, and really showed, okay, it's starting to turn. And this is where you're going to look for that to continue. So if we go look at, let's see, I want to look at the 940 and 905 puts. So this is the 1750 puts, and we're looking at the price at 905 was right here. So we put in a low of 1280. You could have been setting up, just to bracket this candle. This was about $1. Not for sure knowing it was going to turn a hammer in, or put in a hammer and then roll over the way it did, or invert hammer and roll over the way it did. So you could have been doing something like 14 by 13 or 14 by 12 and a half after this candle, and that would have been a nice one. Or you do not set it up quickly, which I didn't, and would have been tough to do, even on a 5-minute, because that moves so quickly. But if you're looking for a pullback back into that price, you got it right here. This candle is very, very similar to this one. It has the low of 1287. Probably could have done 13 by 12 here, or maybe you're looking for the same price, so like 1350 by 1250, and then this one gaps, so I don't even know if you had waited for this to form, if it would have been filled on the next one here. But both of these being very small indecision candle on the option, about 30 minutes, 35 minutes apart from each other at the same price, it was, just a great place to be buying puts. Then from here, like I said, the exit would have been the low of that channel, and that would have been getting out probably somewhere up here. I mean, you would have probably taken something out, taking some profit maybe around 20 when it pushes here, and not knowing it was going to pull back only a little bit and then continue. But that's still getting in. Let's say you got in at 14, just for easy numbers. 14, you got out at 20. That's 6R. You got in at 14, you got out at 24 as it touched that channel. Then that's 10R right there. That's phenomenal. Now if we go back here and we look at calls, let's look at the calls you could have been getting into on these small candles here. Looking for a bounce. This is your pullback, this is your rest. You can get in on this with a stop down here because you've taken out these highs. You got the squeeze forming. It should continue to rally bullish. This is the first time we've gotten above the 21. Well, we were technically above it here. But we've actually got a decent close above it here. Oh, I say that. Take that back. Sorry. This candle close above. This candle close above. That candle was just barely below. Okay, we've got a close above on these two in a row, and we're it's kind of hard to explain. We're starting to turn. I can see it with the moving averages. The 5 crossing above the 21 here. You could have been getting in on this candle. So let's look at 12:15, getting into calls. And your stop's going to be maybe down here. That would have been a little further away to go. But 12:15 with a stop. So this would have been getting in around 825. And the low over here doesn't show up. It was down at like 680. So that would have been tough. That's more than $1. But it's pretty close to $1.50. you know. But then it's the question of, if I'm getting in here and my stop's down here, well, what if I have my stop here or here? You know, I'm looking for this to continue bullish. And had you just done a bracket on these candles, I mean, you could have been in, you know, getting in 850 and a stop at 750. That would have been how to trade these two candles, looking for it to continue bullish, which it did phenomenally. So that would have been getting in 850. You could have gotten out at 1850 had you held all the way to that high. Probably would have taken something out at 12 as it ran right up into this price here. That would have been getting in here for 850, getting out at 12. That's 3.5 R. Call it a day. Or you just tighten up your stop. You let it. You let it pull back a little bit. You got your stop down here at like 10 because you're just trailing your stop up, and then it starts to S curve and continue back up. And this was another opportunity to get in. Now on right here, the risk reward doesn't look that great if it's going right into this channel. But if from right here you ignore the channel, you're going for the high of the day, then you're getting in on these candles, which are these candles. These ranges are really small. So again, you could have been getting in like 11 by 10 on this candle, like 11 by 10, something like that should have worked. And then that continued up. And the high of the day on the option was lower than the high of the day at this point was way below the high of the day of the option. Not saying right, not high of the day. The high here, it was not quite as high as the high of the day earlier on the option, even though we got really close to it here and here. It just lost a lot of that premium. And so maybe you're looking for, you know, the high on the calls where this resistance was coming in. And so that would have been, let's see, that was 905. So that would have been these candles in here. So maybe your target is 16. And you got there. So you got in, I say 11 by 10, and you got out at 16. That's 5R. That's better than this move, you know? And it beats buying a low, hoping that it's going to reverse. You're waiting for it to actually reverse and getting in on a rest, getting in on a little bit of a dip, and you're setting your risk, how much you're going to lose on the trade if you're wrong, if it goes against you. You're setting it appropriately for it to continue, but mitigating your risk if it doesn't. So those are a couple places, buying calls here, buying calls here. I don't think I would have played around with this as much because we had the big move here. We had the big move here. We had the big move here. This is chop. This is chop. You know, we just chopped around after the bearish move. We chopped around during the bullish move and after the bullish move. You know, this was kind of the two key places that you could have really mitigated your risk and had an edge and really taken the trade for a few R's, or at least a minimum of 2R target, you know, and that's always a good place to be setting it up. The other place would have been possibly buying the low here, but again, you're not getting set up, you know, with a way to wait for it to reverse. You're calling the bottom. You're saying it's going to reverse here, which with 1747 just a little bit below here, and the low of yesterday being a little bit below here, you really want to be in an option much further out of the money so that you could really mitigate that risk. So let's go look at the call at 10:30. That's the only other thing is this is a nice reversal time of day. I've seen that a lot. So at 10:35, let's say you bought calls here at, you know, the low it made of, like, let's call it $8. You got an 8 by 7 and you're looking for it to rally, looking for it to reverse, and it comes up to 10 and you didn't get out. And then you're hoping that it's going to continue to bounce, and it doesn't. And then all of a sudden, you've got your stop at 7 still because you were so confident you weren't moving your stop. Comes down, puts in a low of 680, stops you out on one of these candles, and then it moves without you. And I've been in that trade too many times that I don't want that to happen anymore. So, really nice reversal here. You waited for the Morningstar reversal. You got in after it shows it's taken out a high and resting, or you're waiting for a pullback. This would have been great to have a deeper pullback to this high, would have made this look like a bigger double bottom. It didn't do that. And so when I missed this one, I was looking for a bigger pullback here, didn't get in, and then I was off that way. It's like, okay, I missed it. I wasn't ready for this. I got called away from my desk for something and was having a conversation in another person's office today and missed this little rest. And I knew something was going on. I think I saw this. I'm like, I know something's going on. And I, thought this really looks like it's starting to turn. And I like the bullishness here and was it somewhat anticipating we're going to get some more bullishness. I was just hoping it was going to rest a little bit more down in here, a little bit longer. Because then I think when I saw it next, it was like taking up the high here. I'm like, nope, I can't get in there. That's too late on this move. And needed it to rest some more. And it did rest. It rested similar to this. 2 candles here going sideways, 6 candles here going sideways, slight pullback. This was the rest. And just something I wasn't looking for it to hold right here. What I thought about doing to get into it, instead of getting into 1800 calls that you could have been getting into, actually no, I think it was like 1825 calls, just to help mitigate the $100 risk. So I was looking at like getting in. Yeah, I didn't want the 4x3. I wanted to pull back a little bit more to like 350 and get in around 350 and a stop down at 250 or something, and just really limit that risk. Really keep that stop further away, and then that would have been a nice move. The other thing I thought about doing when I saw this going without me is I'm like, okay, let me go a little further out, because this is always something you can do. The options that are further out of the money, it moves better with those as it's moving in the direction. And so it was starting to move. I still could have just scalped like an R, getting in up here at like 2 and a stop down at 1, and just getting out at 250 or 3, and just riding that move up, not knowing exactly when it was going to end, but just looking for a small gain. And that was another thing you could have done to play that. But like I said, I kind of stepped back and said, you know what? I missed the bearish move down, and I missed this bullish entry. I missed this bullish entry. I don't need to trade this. I'm chasing it somewhat in here because I'm moving further out of the money with options, and you're not going to get as much of a return on that. And then I didn't know it was going to come back and try and make a new high in the day. I didn't know if this was going to continue, but I decided I'm not going to risk at my R up here at this point where it's clear I should have been buying here, or even down here. I missed a few of the bullish entries. That buying up here was chasing. And so that was kind of what went through my mind today. Missing the trades is okay, and ready to see what happens tomorrow. At some point soon, I do anticipate a move up to 1815. I don't know if that's going to happen tomorrow, but we have a really nice resistance. It was old support, broke down, became new support here, became support again here, and now we're below it. So I would anticipate a retest to move up into that price again, possibly push further. But if we get up there with a close tomorrow, the 5 exponential is already going to be moving down below it. So the 5 could be the next place to have a target on a move up. We touched it here. I think we touched the 5 here. Remember we went a ways up over here where we didn't touch the 5 for like 10 days or something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 10 days we didn't touch it. And we're at 1, 2, 3 right now, coming back down. So we could go much further down without touching the 5. That's still a possibility. Or we could come right back up into it and then ride it like we did through this bullish move and this bullish move. These bearish moves like to kind of push down further and come back into it. We'll see if we chop around on it or something like this. But more to talk about the rest of the week. So I really hope this helps and makes sense of a little bit bigger picture, looking back a little bit to see what's happened on the daily, and also hope it really helps on the 5-minute to see how things are moving along. Right now, we're pretty much sideways after hours, and we'll see if we get any more of a sell-off. That's going to push us down to 1747 and then get a bounce. If we do somehow do that, if we get down here, like I was talking about getting up here when I was doing the video last night, and it was really cool. We opened up really close to 1781, which was this like X marks the spot. So if somehow we get down here into 1747 and then get a bullish move, that'd be incredibly bullish because we're doing a bullish engulfing and we're going to rally really, really strongly back up into this price. If that all happens, that'd just be really cool to see. And let's see if we go back and look at this. We didn't really do that back here. We had a slight gap down and more selling. And then the next day we had that bullish gap and go here. So, but also these two candles were much further away from each other. So we'll see if we get a little more of a pullback down into towards 1747, like it did that over time. Let's see what was the low. It'd be crazy if we have a low tomorrow of 1734.23 or within $1 of that. If we get within $1 of that close tomorrow, that's just going to be really, really crazy. That's telling you there's bots or something that are managing the prices and getting it sold off and whatever. But we'll see. We'll see what happens if we do something like that. Anyway, I'll be really shocked if we have a close with a price that close, but could happen. You never know. We'll just trade the chart and try being the right side of the setup in the trade. So again, hope this helps. This is Justin AMZN. Thanks.